Your grandmother keeps $4,000 in cash inside a Bible. Not a bank, not a savings account, a Bible, third shelf, behind the concordance. You found it at 9 years old and didn't understand it. You understand it now. You don't inherit money when you come from a family like yours. You inherit a relationship with money. And yours arrived quietly, through watching, through sitting at the edge of adult conversations, through the particular silence that fell over the kitchen table whenever the word mortgage came up. Nobody explained the rules to you. You just absorbed them. Rule 1. Money is not discussed, not its presence, not its absence. Rule 2. A good job is the goal, not wealth, not ownership. A job with benefits and enough left at the end of the month to not feel the tightening. Rule 3. Wanting more is dangerous. The people who want more end up embarrassed. You are 19 years old. You have absorbed all 3 rules completely. You don't know yet that rules built for surviving are not always rules built for building. Your first real paycheck is $2,240 after tax. You stare at it longer than you should, not because it's large, because it's yours. You pay the bills. You send $300 home without being asked. What's left is $190. You put it in a checking account at the same bank your mother has used since 1987. You put it in a checking account at the same bank your mother has used since 1987. The account earns 0.1% annual interest. You do not know this yet. A coworker named James mentions a Roth IRA in the break room on a Thursday. You go home and search it at midnight. You read for 2 hours. The feeling of discovering that a door existed in a hallway you have been walking your whole life. You open the Roth IRA on a Sunday. You contribute $100 a month. You go home for Thanksgiving. Your uncle says at least you have got something stable. You have been reading quietly. The Psychology of Money. I will teach you to be rich. Your grandmother's $4,000 in the Bible lost 60% of its value sitting there for 30 years. By 26, your Roth IRA holds $9,400. Your emergency fund is $4,200. You have no credit card debt. You drive a 2016 Honda Civic with 89,000 miles and you are not embarrassed by it. Nobody in your family knows any of this, not because you are hiding it, because there is no language for it yet. Your cousin Marcus needs $1,500, car repair. He will pay you back by the 15th. You give him the $1,500. He pays back $400. The remaining $1,100 never comes back, not because Marcus is dishonest. This is the invisible tax of being the first one building. Nobody named it. Nobody warned you. You are not a bank, but you are the closest thing your family has to one. You start saying I cannot right now, with a steadiness that surprises you. Your net worth at 27 is $31,000. Your great-grandfather owned a half-acre plot that was sold under pressure in 1962 for $800. $800. That was the total value placed on your family's land. You find this out later. It will sit in your chest for a long time. You find a fee-only financial planner named Diane through a Reddit thread at 11 p.m. on a Wednesday. She charges $250 for an initial consultation. She asks about your income, your debts, your goals, your timeline. Then she asks, what does wealth mean to you? Not the number. What does it actually mean? Your father worked a job he disliked for 31 years because leaving was not an option. Your mother stayed in a situation longer than she should have because financial dependence made the door feel heavier than it was. What comes out slowly is this: options, the word your family never had. She identifies $4,400 in annual tax savings you have been leaving on the table. The $250 returns $4,400 in year 1. You rebook immediately. You are 30 now. You are not the same person who stared at a $2,240 paycheck. Your Roth IRA is at $22,000. Your savings are at $8,500. The numbers are moving. You start tracking every dollar, not out of fear, out of respect for what each one can become. Compound interest does not feel real at first. It feels like nothing is happening. Then one day you look at the number and something has shifted. The curve has begun. You are not wealthy yet, but you are no longer without options. You start a side income, small at first, deliberate, quiet. The side income is $400 a month, then $800, then $1,200. You automate everything: the investment, the savings, the giving. You are 32. The apartment is modest, but it is yours, all of it. Your net worth crosses $67,000. Nobody around you knows this number exists. You go home for the holidays. Everything looks the same, but you are different. Most people around you are still walking the same road. You quietly took a different one. You start teaching your younger sibling, quietly, without making it feel like a lesson. They open a Roth IRA at 19, 4 years earlier than you did. Nobody gave you the map. You drew it yourself, line by line, year by year. Your grandmother kept $4,000 in a Bible. You have built $100,000 in accounts she never knew existed. You are 35. The number you once feared is not your story. Your net worth is $143,000. The compound curve has fully begun. What you planted at 22 is a tree now. You cannot see all of it yet, but the roots are real. Someone younger asks you how you did it. You tell them the truth. It started with $100 a month. Options, not obligations. That was always the goal. At 36 you leave a job that no longer fits. Not dramatically, not desperately, calmly, because you can. The door your mother could not open, you just walked through it. You buy a house at 37, not because someone told you to, because the math said you were ready. Your grandmother did not fail, she survived. You are building on what she survived. This is what the first one looks like, not flashy, not loud, just steady, just free. You wake up at 38 and the first thought is not about money, that is new. Your net worth is $187,000, the number your grandmother never imagined possible. Your sibling calls you, their Roth IRA just crossed $40,000, they are 26. The cycle is breaking, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, one account at a time. You write down everything you know about money, every rule you had to learn alone. Open a Roth IRA early, live below your means, protect your capital, say no when you have to. You are not at the end of the road, you are just far enough ahead to see how wide it gets. The Bible is still on the shelf, you kept it, not for the money, for what it represents. She wasn't wrong to distrust the system, she just didn't have access to the parts that compound. You do. 2 generations, same family, different tools, different outcomes. You think about the 9-year-old who found the Bible. He did not understand it then, he understands everything now. The boy who didn't understand it became the man who changed everything. At 39 you pay off your mother's remaining debt. You do not announce it, you just do it. She calls you that evening. She does not have the words, neither do you. Financial dependence kept that door heavy for decades. You just removed the chains. Your sibling's net worth crosses $100,000 at 29, 3 years faster than you. That is how it works. Each generation runs further than the last. You gave them a head start. $4,000 in a Bible, $250,000 in accounts, same family, 1 generation apart. You were never behind, you were just the first, and the first one always has to build the road. The road is built now, for everyone who comes after you, that is what the first one does. You are 40, the age that used to feel like a deadline, it feels like a beginning. Your net worth is $240,000, but compound interest is doing more work than you are now. You take the Bible off the shelf one evening, you open it, the $4,000 is long gone, but the lesson is still there. She kept it safe the only way she knew how. You kept it safe the only way you knew how. Different tools, same love. You think about everyone who came before you. They were not failures, they were the foundation. Every generation that survived made it possible for you to build. You build on their survival. You start writing it all down, not for yourself, for whoever comes after you. Things I wish someone had told me about money. You write that at the top of the first page. You were the first candle, now there are others. That is how darkness ends, one light at a time. You step outside, the morning is quiet, the work continues, it always continues. People start coming to you with questions, not because you advertise it, because word travels quietly. A cousin texts you, opened a Roth IRA today because of you. That is the whole point. One decision ripples outward. You opened an account, they opened an account, someone they know will open one too. You take walks now without thinking about money. That is the real milestone nobody talks about. Your father traded time for survival. You traded time for options. Your children will trade time for joy. The next generation will not start from zero, because you did not let them. You teach the next one early, not with lectures, with simple questions. What do you want this money to do? Generational wealth is not just money, it is knowledge, it is language, it is the conversation that finally gets started. You read back what you wrote. It is not a list of achievements, it is a map for whoever comes next. She left you a Bible with $4,000. You will leave them a journal with everything you know. That is the inheritance. At 42, the projections stop being numbers on a screen. They start feeling like freedom with a date attached. Your net worth crosses $310,000. The number is not the point. The options it creates are the point. The door is open now, not just for you, for everyone who walks through after you. You sit in the park for an hour and do nothing. No guilt, no anxiety, just time, your own time. Time was always the real currency. Money was just the way to buy it back. You pay her electric bill without being asked, then the next month, then the month after, quietly, consistently. Wealth moves like water. It finds its level. It flows toward those who build channels for it. You meet your younger cousin for coffee. You spend 2 hours going through the basics. No judgment, just the map. By the end of coffee, they have opened an account. The cycle breaks a little more. Generational poverty is a chain. You broke one link. Every link after yours will be easier to break. At 44, you run the numbers for the first time. Early retirement is not a dream anymore. It is a date on a spreadsheet. The calculator says 52. You close the laptop and sit with that number for a long time. 48% of the way there. You started from zero. You are almost halfway to free. You think about the $190 you had at 22. You think about what you did with it. You think about what it became. $190 then, $400,000 now. Same person, different knowledge, different outcomes. You have tea with your mother on a Tuesday evening. She looks relaxed. The financial weight is gone. You did that. She carried that weight for 30 years. You lifted it in 10. That is what the first one can do. You scroll back to the Marcus texts. You do not feel anger. You feel clarity. Everyone was doing their best with what they had. Not everyone starts at the same height, but the horizon is the same for everyone. You just have to build the platform. You place the Bible back on the shelf. You understand it now. All of it. Every page. 62% of the way to complete financial independence. The number moves every month now. Quietly. Automatically. Your investment account crosses $500,000. You are sitting in a grocery store parking lot when the notification arrives. You sit in the car for 10 minutes. You do not call anyone. There is no one who would fully understand. You just sit with it. $500,000, more mountain ahead. But look how far you have climbed from the bottom. You write a letter to yourself at 22. You tell him what is coming. You tell him it is worth it. Dear me at 22. The $190 is not the end. It is the beginning. Open the account. Say no when you have to. Keep going. The 22-year-old needed someone to tell him it was possible. You are telling him now. Across time. He hears you. You were the first candle. Count the lights now. Count how many fires you started without ever knowing it. The city wakes up the same way it always has. But you are different. Quiet. Free. Ready. The hard road is behind you. The wide road is ahead. You built it. Every single inch of it. At 47, the curve you read about in books is happening in your own account. Real numbers. Real freedom approaching. $620,000. The number your grandmother could not have imagined. The number you almost did not believe was possible either. The $100 a month you planted at 22 is a forest now. You cannot see where it ends. You still read, not out of desperation anymore, out of curiosity. That is what freedom feels like. You sit at the kitchen table sometimes and think about her, what she would say, what she would think. You believe she would be proud. She gave you $4,000 in a Bible. You will give the next generation $700,000 in accounts and the knowledge of how it got there. You stand in your own backyard at sunset. Nobody is asking you for anything. You owe nothing to urgency anymore. Your mother leaves a note on the kitchen table. Thank you. Love, Mom. 2 words, 20 years of work behind them. You fold the note carefully. You put it in the journal, between the pages, where it belongs. 2 books, one from her, one from you. The whole story is in those 2 books. At 50, the retirement countdown shows 2 years. You read it 3 times to make sure it is real. 87% of the way there, 2 years and 3 months. The finish line is visible now. You can see the finish line, not the end, the beginning of the next chapter. 3 people at the table now, all building, all because one person started quietly 20 years ago. 1 candle became 3, 3 will become 10. That is how generational wealth actually spreads. You wake up on a Tuesday and realize you do not have to be anywhere. That feeling does not get old. The alarm is off, not because you slept through it, because you do not need it anymore. Everyone around you is rushing. You are sitting. That used to feel wrong. Now it feels exactly right. Water carves through rock not by force but by persistence. That is exactly what you did, year after year after year. You look at the city and feel something you have never felt before. Not pride, not relief, just peace, deep and quiet peace. 6 months left. The number that once seemed impossible is 6 months away from being real. $780,000, 97% of the way there. The last 3% feels like the longest mile. Crossing the finish line does not feel like the movies. It feels quiet. It feels earned. It feels like exhaling for the first time. You have dinner with your mother and sibling. Nobody mentions money. That is the whole point. The dinner table used to hold silence and worry. Now it just holds food and conversation. That is the difference you made. You look at the Bible one more time, not with sadness, not with nostalgia, with gratitude. It started here. $4,000 in a Bible. That was the beginning of everything. That was the seed of all of it. You write the last page of the journal. You close it. You put it on the shelf beside the Bible. The 2 books sit together. Her book, your book, side by side. The whole story of your family is on that shelf. You sit in the quiet. The work is done. The road is built. The next ones will walk it further than you ever could. The notification arrives on a Thursday morning. Financial independence achieved. You read it 4 times. $800,000. The number you wrote down 20 years ago on a napkin late at night. It is real now. You do not call anyone. There is nobody who would fully understand what this moment cost. You just sit with it alone. The tunnel was long. The light at the end was real. You walked toward it for 20 years without stopping. You step outside the next morning with nowhere to be. The sky is the same sky, but you are finally free under it. Freedom is not loud. It does not announce itself. It just arrives quietly one morning and stays. You read a book on a Wednesday morning in a coffee shop. Not a finance book, just a book, because you can. You think about the 9-year-old boy again, standing in that bedroom, reaching for the Bible, not knowing what he was starting. The money is gone from the Bible, but everything it started is still here, growing, compounding, spreading. $4,000 in a Bible was the match. You were the fire. Everything after you will burn brighter still. This is who you became, not because someone handed it to you, because you built it, alone, quietly, year by year. 3 things on the shelf: her Bible, your journal, your family. That is the whole story, right there. You look back one last time at the shelf. You nod once, then you step outside. The next chapter has no ceiling. The road is open now. It was always open. You just had to build the first mile yourself. Your grandmother keeps $4,000 in cash inside a Bible. Not a bank, not a savings account, a Bible. You found it at 9 years old and didn't understand it. You understand it now.